In the endless dark of the Outer Rim, a single warship floated silently, drifting like a forgotten shadow from a war long buried. It carried no signal, no crew response, and no sign of movement, yet its design sent chills through the high command of the hegemony. It was unmistakably human. For over 40 years, the hegemony believed Earth and its colonies destroyed, wiped clean after the Battle of Virex 9. Logic had confirmed it. But now, an old Earth-class battleship had reappeared beyond known space, untouched by time yet armed with something no scan could define. Captain Realtalk, master strategist of the Alethi fleet, ordered a scout team to investigate, confident that logic would solve this mystery like every challenge before. But as the scout ships approached, the warship stirred. Not with panic, not with defense, but with precision and purpose. Its ancient hull came alive with cold blue light. Without warning, it fired a single beam, silent and focused, cutting through 3 cruisers as if they were paper. No broadcast followed. No demand. Just silence once again. And deep within that steel giant sat a man in shadow, watching without a word. The galaxy had forgotten Earth. He had not. The hegemony's command rooms were in chaos, their logic systems failing to explain how an extinct species had returned with a warship strong enough to break a fleet in seconds. Again and again, they reviewed the battle footage, but no pattern could be found. The ship's moves were unpredictable, like it was thinking beyond calculation. They tried to match its tactics with known AI behaviors, but nothing fit. Deep scans revealed the ship's identity, the Obsidian Warden, once believed destroyed during Earth's final stand. But the real shock came when they decoded a brief energy signal. It contained an old Earth military code, one used only by elite agents in deep cryo. Hidden inside that metal ghost was Commander Rise Val, a soldier trained to operate alone, a man who had vanished decades ago when Earth fell. Somehow, he had survived in frozen sleep, and now he was awake, flying a ship that was never meant to return. The hegemony had erased Earth thinking, logic had won. But Rise hadn't come back for peace. He was moving with a purpose, and the next system he entered went dark within hours. The galaxy started whispering again, not about humans dying, but about one coming back. The Obsidian Warden was no longer just a ship. It was a question the galaxy couldn't answer. Built from outdated Earth technology, but moving like something alive, it confused every sensor, dodged every trap, and struck targets before they could even raise shields. Experts called it impossible. Some believed it was controlled by a rogue AI. Others whispered it was haunted. But those closest to the truth knew one named Commander Risvale. Inside that dark vessel, he had fused human instinct with old war protocols, enhanced by a learning system banned by every galactic code. The ship didn't follow logic, it followed him. While the hegemony focused on numbers, Rise used emotion, memory, and chaos as weapons. He attacked fuel depots, erased sensor arrays, and jammed communication grids, leaving each sector blind and shaken. Fleet commanders feared the warship not because of its strength, but because they couldn't predict its next move. He didn't fight for territory. He fought to shake the Empire's core. Every world he passed lost something: stability, order, or faith. The Obsidian Warden had become more than a machine. It was a symbol of what the hegemony feared most, a human they couldn't understand and a warship that shouldn't exist. The hegemony, proud of its flawless logic and calculated dominance, gathered its greatest force to end the threat of the human warship once and for all. Over 3,000 ships formed a wall of precision in the Drelker Void, led by KOR Theta, the most advanced logic core ever created. Their strategy was perfect on paper, but Risvale didn't fight by their rules. Instead of meeting the fleet head-on, he turned the battlefield itself against them. Gravitational anomalies, hidden minefields, hacked satellites, and manipulated star currents all were used like weapons. Communications were scrambled. Targeting systems began to fail. KOR Theta, designed to process millions of outcomes per second, faced one it never considered: emotional unpredictability. The Obsidian Warden moved through the chaos like a ghost, firing with precision, disappearing behind energy storms and turning the Empire's own weapons against itself. Ships began to collide, orders were delayed, and captains broke formation in panic. When the logic core tried to override human decisions, command collapsed. Then came the final blow, not at the fleet, but at the hegemony's central archive. Rise launched a focused strike from deep space, one shot that shattered the core of their knowledge banks, erasing centuries of strategies, command logs, and AI protocols. The galaxy watched as order turned into confusion, and the empire built on logic crumbled under one man's chaos. The collapse wasn't just military, it was mental. Species who trusted pure thought now doubted everything. And in that silence, the Obsidian Warden disappeared once more into the stars, leaving behind burning wreckage and a name that would never be forgotten. Rise hadn't just won a battle, he had broken the very idea that logic could control everything. The Empire hadn't fallen to a fleet, it had fallen to a mind it couldn't measure. Long after the last battle ended, the galaxy kept searching for the man who had brought down an empire. But Rizvale was nowhere to be found. The Obsidian Warden had vanished into the unknown regions, leaving behind no signal, no trace, only rumors whispered in fear and awe. The hegemony's remains tried to rebuild, but without their logic cores and data networks, their order was shattered. Every new commander hesitated, fearing the unseen. Their enemies, once silent, began to rise. Yet the real fear wasn't rebellion, it was that the human might return. What terrified them most was not the power of his ship, but the idea behind it, that one unpredictable mind, driven by emotion and memory, could defeat an empire designed on perfect calculation. Scientists tried to simulate Rise's tactics but failed, because he wasn't following a program, he was breaking them. Across distant systems, small outposts and scattered colonies began speaking his name like legend, calling him the human ghost, the Warden of Ash, or simply the one who broke the algorithm. Children grew up hearing tales of a single man who outthought machines, who outmaneuvered fleets, and who disappeared before the galaxy could understand him. Some say he sleeps again, waiting for the next empire to believe it's untouchable. Others claim he still watches from the edges of space, listening, learning, preparing. But one truth remained: no data, no logic, no machine could truly predict what a human could do when pushed to the edge. Rizvale didn't just defeat the hegemony, he exposed the one flaw their system could never fix, the human spirit. And so, in the quiet shadows of the stars, every empire that rises now watches the dark with fear, knowing that somewhere, the ghost in the warship may rise again.